Understand,
So what?
but I've been here for 5 years, and like I said, I have a
Sir,
okay.
Arbor Woods versus Damon Stafford. And sit on Siri Hulk. Your name, sir?
Mr. Stafford, Damon Stafford, sir.
Pardon?
Damon Stafford, sir.
All right. All right. Where are we on this? This is his motion.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. What's the basis of your motion to stay this?
Actually, like I said, I had back in December, I had a high-paying job for Lowe's. They downsized, so my bills were, when I make a little bit more, I was able to afford a little bit more. So it accumulates a little bit quicker when you don't have that income coming in. So now it took me like 3.5, 4 months to be able to find sufficient employment because I still have daycare that I have to pay for a 4-year-old too as well. And I was behind on my mortgage. So I was able to come up with that 4,000 and be able to close that case out. And now I'm working to get this one squared away. I was able to come up with like 5,000 to be able to get that squared away.
To get which squared away?
Because in mobile homes, they have the lot rent and then the mortgage because I own mine. I'm not a renter.
Got it.
So I was able to get that squared away. So that's been cleared up. So now I'm working on the lot rent and I was able to come up, like I say, and get that squared away. That was about 4,000. I'm back working now. So I'm consistently taking care. And
Okay. How much is owing?
Your Honor, $5,608.32.
$1,608.06. Okay.
And I have 800 with the court too as well.
Pardon?
I have 800 with the court too as well.
Right. There's 800 in the court, but that only brings me down to just under $49,000 range.
I'm aggressive. Like I said, I'm back working. So the income is starting to fill back in, to fill those gaps.
Have you talked to the landlord about how you're doing this?
Yes, I've reached out to them consistently, just try to come up with a game plan. And like I said, I've preferred a couple of different scenarios. Like I said, a biweekly payment and just being able to get caught up as well, which will probably take me about 45 to 60 days at max. And then that still includes being able to take care of April's as well. So I just need that time frame to be able to let those commissions, and because I'm still in my training period too as well. So once my commissions hit within the next 30 days, I'll be getting a larger paycheck to be able to knock out larger portions of it. But it was just an unfortunate situation with the downsizing that just caused a hole.
I hear you.
And I'm working at it.
But here's the thing. So this is your motion to stay the writ in this case. I don't see a basis upon which I could do that. Okay. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to, especially with this amount owing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the escrow to the plaintiff. I'm going to deny your motion to stay the writ in this case, but I will indicate the writ cannot be executed until after the 26th.
And Your Honor, I would state an objection to that, but in furtherance of that, we did attempt to work with Mr. Stafford earlier this year. We did send a proposed amended consent judgment for his review and execution to try to work something out with him. That did not get executed. And so my client unfortunately was unwilling to enter into a further arrangement with Mr. Stafford.
That was only due to the fault that the job that I had at that time, they sold that company and they put a hiring freeze. And so that through that.
Right. But I think the point here is that you may have put yourself in a position where the landlord may not want to work with you.
I understand.
So what?
But I've been here for 5 years. And like I said, I have a.
Sir.
Okay.
So what I've done, which I don't have to do, and I'm doing it over plaintiff's objection, I'm giving you basically a 2-week time frame to try to work something out with the landlord or give them some type, see if you can work something out. I can't guarantee that that's going to happen, but I could have ordered that they're able to execute the writ today. And so I'm giving basically a 2-week period for you to see if you can work something out. if you can get funds to them in some way to lessen this amount and show your good faith and maybe
I'll make a
reconcile
good,
that.
I mean, I have what I have today. I have $400. I can make a payment of $400 right now.
Okay.
I mean, that's,
I'm not faulting. I'm just trying to give you, I'm trying to give you a little bit of breathing space to see if you can work something out so you don't lose everything. But your motion is denied because I don't have a basis to do that. I'm just giving that 2-week time frame for you to try to figure it out. I wish previously you had, I understand the circumstances you had been in, but also appreciate where the landlord is, that they were going to work with you. That didn't happen. And so therefore now you're at this position and they're trying to say, well, why should we work with you if that was for naught the last time?
I mean, I've been here, I'm not a renter. And so it's just like, I'm just,
Sir, I'm not
I get it.
faulting you. I'm just saying that's why we are where we are. Okay? So I'm trying to give a little room. You go in, you try to convince them that this is something that I can do. Here's my game plan. This is what I'm going to do and see if they'll work with you. Okay? All right? Okay. Thank you. And I've called the case of Peninsular Place versus Angel Joe.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Carissa Gazari, appearing for plaintiff.
All right. And where are we on this case? This is your motion, ma'am?
Yes, I missed the court date last week. I wasn't told that it was in person at the time, so I wasn't physically here. But by the time that I was approved for the Zoom call, it was already too late. So I ended up missing it regardless, which is why I'm here now with escrow. I just got done emailing the owner of Peninsular Place. They said that everything would be fine as long as I paid them off with a cashier's check. So I have that 600 in the escrow, and then I have all that money waiting to be sent to them. I just didn't have the money for the additional late fees and court costs and all that. So I didn't send in the full amount.
Okay, all right. So let's work backwards here for a second. Ms. Gazari, how much is that?
Right now, the balance is $2,294.11, which includes April. The judgment amount was $1,644.69.
Okay. So she has posted $620. And ma'am, you were saying that you were going to send in the rest. What do you mean? What dollar figure is the rest?
So if I did math, 220 minus the 600, that is about 1,400, I believe. Or no, sorry, I'm really bad at math. 1,600.
So you have 1,600 to send.
Well, not at the moment. That because of the late fees, I didn't have 600 at the time. I had the full amount, but my car was towed from the place. They said they towed it because my parking pass wasn't the up-to-date one, and so I went to the office to get the up-to-date one, and they said that they already confirmed that I received it, but they didn't actually confirm it. I had to be in person to get the pass, which I did not get. So I had to wait 2 days until I could actually get the pass and then get my car out of the lot and pay for that. So that was about 400 or so taken out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this. How much are you intending to send to the landlord?
All the money I have. I get paid next week,
Okay.
about 900.
All right.
So,
All right, ma'am. I need a figure.
okay, 700.
700.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I just use the judgment amount, not what's included for the month of April, that's gonna be 1320. So I'm gonna be about $325 short of even you satisfying the judgment in this case.
Yes. And then plus the court case and all that, I also have all that money, but that would be when I get my paycheck next week.
Okay. So let's try it this way.
Sorry, it's confusing.
No, it's okay. You were right when you said you were bad at math. Okay. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. All right, listen. So by next week, right? When do you get your paycheck? On a Friday?
Thursday.
Thursday. So you'll have a check on the 18th.
Yes.
Okay. And you can't pay. Well, let me do this here. If you paid the 700, all right, I'm looking not so much as judgment. I'm looking at the, trying to get this whole amount paid, okay? So under the one scenario, well, then if you paid 700, right? Okay, so to pay off the judgment, you're gonna be about $325 short. So how would you then get April paid?
I get paid next week. I'd have plentiful money by then, all of it.
Are you gonna have about $1,700?
Yeah.
So if I were to indicate, if I adjourn this out a week and say by the 19th, you're gonna pay $1,700 to the landlord, you can do that? That's 1,700. Don't start subtracting.
Yeah.
Doing it, okay, you got it?
17 full.
Do no math.
Yes.
All right, just pay what I tell you. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna adjourn this out 1 week. I'm gonna give her an opportunity to try to get it done. You haven't paid the 700 to the landlord yet, though.
No, I have that right here, right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is it in cash? Or
It is in cash, but they only allow a cashier's check.
I know,
Okay.
but here's what I'm gonna tell you to do so that the 700 week is there. Okay, you're gonna pay $700 in the court escrow when you walk out of here
Okay.
today. All right, that way we'll have 1,320. Then you're going to pay, am I still gonna be short? Maybe I messed up my math. I'm gonna have $1,320, and then if she pays 17, so she'll pay about 3,020. Why is my number not matching? 2294 basically owing now, 620. I have an escrow. What do you come up with?
You want them added together,
Subtracted.
$1,674.
That's what I come up with. And then she's gonna pay, I know what it is. Then if she pays the 700 today, then what's that figure?
970.
Okay. So what I need you to pay by next Thursday is 974. I didn't take off your other amount that you're gonna put in today. Okay, got that?
Yep.
Sure.
974.
974. So you're gonna do two things. You're gonna go put, hang on. So you're gonna go put 700 into escrow, 974 to the landlord by Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll release the escrow to the landlord, and then we should be good.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll adjourn this matter to April 19th, 2024. What time?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay? And if you've got everything paid, you don't need to come back here.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, but double check with your landlord to make sure you're all set.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then I'm releasing, I'm just gonna indicate after payment. All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Court does call the case of Arbor One versus, is it Haldandi? Is it Mahungama? Yeah.
Good morning, Your Honor. Cheryl Wilcox on behalf of the plaintiff.
I do not have this tenant checked in.
The tenant is not checked in. They're not present in the courtroom. Would you like to proceed?
I would. Let me just review with the court. This was defendant's motion to set aside a default judgment. And we already had a judgment and a writ. And then she did make a payment in April, but she owes April rent now. So she has a balance.
What's her balance currently?
The total amount due, Your Honor, including the court cost, is $1,148.84. I'm almost thinking we do an amended judgment for the balance, because, so here's the
Have you
issue. She should have set, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Have you received the 2 checks from the court?
I've
was,
received,
$2,100?
yes, we received that.
Okay. Okay. And that, then her balance is this amount, which really is her April rent.
Correct.
Okay. All right, why don't we, I'll indicate that the defendant did not appear. And then, because she's close, she's gotten this knocked down kind of, I guess. Well, she paid it February. Then she paid March. You know, the strange thing, I'm just looking at when she deposits the payments into escrow. Well, she deposited 2 payments on the 29th of March. It hasn't had that. Well, what would you like the court to do, I guess?
Well,
I mean, go ahead.
no, you, go ahead, Your Honor, what were you thinking?
Well, what I'm thinking is she's close. I'm almost wanting to adjourn it because of when the payments are made, her previous escrow payments.
Well-
That it looks like it comes at the end of the month. But if we
But she
do an
should be
amended
here.
judgment and give her to the end of the month to get it paid, then I guess it could be done that way.
Okay, I would prefer to do that and not come back on it. But Your Honor, my
All right.
concern is she's gonna file another motion since this seems to be the trend with these residents.
Yeah, it does. Okay. So what I will do is then I will, I'll just indicate defendant did fail to appear, plaintiff to file amended judgment.
And
With
I
a
would
writ
ask
date-
that
with a
no,
writ date
I'm
of the
sorry.
30th.
Okay,
ahead.
I'd ask that no additional motions would be accepted on this matter.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I follow that, but quite frankly, with her rent being somewhere around what, $1,100, it almost, if she did file a motion, if she filed the motion, the issue really would be that she'd pay off this judgment virtually, because she'd have to post
Into
the
escrow,
escrow.
right, I agree.
So-
Okay,
All right,
okay,
all right, writ April 30th.
thank
See
you.
what happens. All right. Finish my sentences in writing. Court does call the case of Arbor One West versus Mercedes Houston.
Cheryl Wilcox on behalf of the plaintiff.
All right. Okay, hold on. She's coming from outside the doors. Your name?
Mercedes.
All right. Okay, where are we on this case?
Your Honor, it looks like at the end of March, there was a payment made by Sigma of $1,500. We right now have a balance of $2,459.04. This is one where the defendant indicated she had no heat. And I mean, the landlord's willing to waive a half a month's rent to just put this to rest regarding the heat issue. but I don't know what the plan is for payment. Is there additional funding that's being sought?
I am
Or
working.
what? Okay, Amy's on the screen. She appears at these moments as people's savior. So Amy,
Good morning, Your Honor. An approval was just communicated to me for the balance that was on the ledger that was shared with me in the amount of 2,470 and 94 cents.
Well,
Ms.
let's
Suckup.
just take that then and call it a day.
all right,
Wait.
so she's approved for $2,470.90,
94,
94 cents.
correct.
Okay.
That was the balance that was shared with me by
Yeah, I put the ID in on that.
I'm so
That's
sorry.
what it showed.
in two places at once. By the property manager. I believe.
Okay,
Yeah, so that was what I had put the request in. So as far as mailing, I'll keep Ms. Suckoff and the property manager up to date, but that approval just happened this morning.
okay, all right. So why don't I just adjourn this to the 26th, my last date, and then hopefully we can have everything resolved by then. And then it'd be a dismissal. That's my suggestion.
I'm okay with that. I brought mine. I didn't
Brought
know
your what?
if Amy was gonna be in here. I gave her, I brought my SBR determination and stuff, but she just.
Oh, your SER determination? Okay, but it looks like it's been approved already, so we're probably in good shape. All right. April 26, 2024, 12 p.m. and hopefully we don't have to do anything. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You do the same. Harbor One West versus Fantasia Allen.
Cheryl, look up on behalf of the plaintiff.
Fantasia Allen? She is in Zoom? Oh, there she is. Okay.
Your Honor,
Oh, there she is. Ms. Allen, can you state your name?
Yeah, this is Corey Snyder talking for Fontanasia.
Okay. That's defendant two. Okay. Mr.
Yeah.
Snyder,
Yeah,
hang on a second. Okay. All
Your
right,
Honor.
what are we doing?
to refresh the court's recollection on this case was up several times. On the third hearing, the defendant indicated she was going to the hospital to deliver. We did not enter a judgment. We came back on the 15th of March. A judgment was entered. It was a judgment by hearing against Ms. Allen and a default against Mr. Snyder. They filed a motion, and the substance of the motion, and it's a motion, I don't know what the motion is. It's under a motion to set aside default, and it says we can start paying it off. It's signed by Ms. Allen, who was not defaulted. I would submit to the court, there's no basis to set us, I don't even know how to,
Yeah.
there was
no,
a
I got
default
it.
against her, but okay. You know where I'm coming from, and now we have a balance of
Yes.
$316. So I would respectfully request this motion be
What was that balance again? I'm sorry.
as of today, $4,316.88. The judgment was for $2,943.20.
I have $1,180 in escrow, so that you know.
And I would ask that's released to the plaintiff and the motion denied. But
All right.
obviously leave that to your discretion.
Yes.
um,
Go ahead. Sure.
we have the full amount. We can pay it today.
You have what amount?
We have the full amount. We can pay it today.
So you have, let's see, it's 4316 minus, give me 4316 minus 1180.
$3,136.
So you're telling me you have $3,136 that you can pay today?
Correct.
Is that in a money order?
Money order or cash. We could put it with the rest of the escrow money.
I mean, Your Honor, I honestly don't know if my client wants to take it at this point, but I certainly can ask.
Well, I think if they're going to redeem, my posture has always been that they could redeem on the judgment. They're actually going beyond that at this point. If they're gonna pay the balance in full. So, here is what I like to do, because sir, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjourn this out 1 week. If I'm not even going to hear argument if that money doesn't get in here today on it, and I'm just going to deny the motion and let chips fall where they may.
That's no problem.
All right, so I need to the court so that I know 3136 that needs to be paid today.
To the court.
Yes, so it'd have to be cash brought to the court
All right. I
for
can do that.
3136 today. We close at 4 o'clock.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
Here's what I'll do. If not paid, I'm just gonna do it this way. I'm not even gonna give another date. If it's not paid, then motion denied and plaintiff can proceed with the writ. If it's paid, if paid, then release all escrow to plaintiff. You understand that, sir?
Yep.
Okay, so if it's not here, I'm denying the motion. Plaintiff can proceed with their order of eviction. If it gets paid, then we'll release all of that escrow to the plaintiff. And there's nothing then for me to hear.
All right. So everything should go back to normal with rent after that.
Pardon?
Do we got everything should be go back to normal with rent and everything else?
Well, one of two things is gonna happen. Either $4,316 is gonna be sent by the court to the plaintiff, or the plaintiff's gonna have you evicted.
All right.
It's as simple as that.
Just wanted to make sure.
What'd you say?
I was just making sure.
Yep. So that has to be up here by 4 PM today.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Arbor Woods versus Carol Toronto and Judith Well. Hello. Your names?
I'm Carol Taranto. I'm sorry, Judith Wells.
Okay.
BRTS.
All right. And where are we on this case?
Your Honor, Ms. Taranto had reached out regarding a potential payment arrangement, which my client has approved. If it pleases the court and if those terms remain the same, I can either email over an agreement for their review and signature, or if they want me to sign it on their behalf, so long as I indicated, the terms are still the same. Either way, I believe the intent was they were going to pay $1,000 today and the balance on or before April 29th. And if that's still their intent, then I believe we've reached terms for a proposed consent judgment. Total due at present with cost, Your Honor, is $2,779.25.
$2,700.
$79.25.
25 cents.
That isn't taking the $1,000 off for today, so it should be $17.
Did you already drop off that payment, Ms. Taranto?
I did. Yes, I have a copy.
Okay.
as well, too.
It's all right.
Okay.
We believe you.
Okay.
All right. Well, I don't believe you. I believe. No, I'm kidding.
You're right. That does not take into account. So your plan is to have the total $27.79 paid by the 29th? Or your
That's correct. So
Okay.
I didn't mean to interrupt. So yes, so less the 1,000, it would be 17, I had 1778.84. Because there was a $55 charge, would be the total amount, 1778.84.
Well, it would be 1779.
Okay.
25. There was a
That's fine.
slight
It's a-
difference with the court costs, Your Honor. There was a court cost adjustment. So I think if
Got
they're
it.
looking at the ledger, the number's a little off because of a court cost adjustment.
Well, that's okay for you?
Yep, and it's so
Okay.
1779 and change.
All right, so that's a consent judgment. So why don't we do this? Why don't you email that over to us? Ladies, I'll ask you to have a seat.
Okay,
All right, we'll get that to you, let you, like Miss Carol, review it, and then we can get your signatures on it, okay?
Your Honor, I'm
Thank
just going
you.
to verify with my
Thank you,
client they
Jenna.
have that $1,000, and if they do, then I'll make the adjustment to the amount. I'm sure they do.
All right.
But I just need to verify that.
Great. Okay, so what they're gonna, no, it's okay.
okay,
You're,
all right.
you're good, ma'am.
okay,
What she's gonna do is she's gonna verify with
with
her
them.
client, 1,000, and then the judgment, she's gonna make the corrections.
Okay, I dropped it off to Zoe this morning before we came in.
All right.
Perfect. That's who I was
Yeah.
about to email.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Arbor Woods versus Autumn Cooper.
Do not have these tenants checked in.
You didn't, Autumn Cooper and Pamela Coleman, they are not here. Would you like to take a default?
I would not actually. The total due, Your Honor,
Okay.
the total due period is $95.92. I would like to submit a dismissal without waiving that balance.
Got it. Understood. Okay, case dismissed with reservation for the minor outstanding balance. Fantastic. Then Arbor Woods versus Tyrone Miller. Tyrone Miller, not here. Would you like to take a default on this one?
I would, Your Honor, but just to also let the court know, I was contacted by a individual named Jerome, identifying himself as Mr. Miller's son. He had inquired as to whether or not he could appear in court to represent his father today. I let him know that since he's not an attorney, that he could not, but if he needed verification of that, he was welcome to appear to verify that with Your Honor as well. I let him
What
know
was his
generally.
name?
I'm sorry,
What was the name of the individual?
Jerome, Your Honor.
Jerome? You're not here either. Okay,
And I let him know that generally speaking, if we requested a default judgment, which would be our intent today, there would be an ability to have that balance paid within 10 days. So perhaps that's what their intent is, and that's why they're not
Oh.
present today. So with
All
that being said, may I be sworn?
yes, do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. For the record, Your Honor, Rachel Dornbush, Pellets Law, on behalf of the plaintiff. Your Honor, there's rent to retain $1,730.99, cost of $185 for a total due of $1,915.99. We'd request entry of a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ issue in 10 days. All right, Jennifer and Linda Carroll. Come on up, ma'am. State your name again when you,
I'm Jennifer Carroll.
all right. You reviewed that consent judgment?
I have, I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it says they should pay it by, the 1,200 on or before the 11th.
Did I take 11? Hold on, let me take. a
I
look.
can pay it today.
Hold on
Oh,
a second.
that's
Let
fine.
me, let me see the form.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, you don't want to come too close. He gets upset. All right.
I had prepared that, Your Honor, based on my conversation with Ms. Carroll yesterday. When she had said she could pay it yesterday, and so I understand why she didn't drop it off yesterday. If she can do it today, that is satisfactory.
Okay,
Okay.
you do it today?
Yes,
Okay.
it'll probably be in the Dropbox.
Just fine.
Okay,
Okay,
and I'll mark it, I'll just change this to the 12th. Okay?
yep.
You have any other questions on this?
Nope, that was my only issue.
All right, then I'm gonna ask, I'll hand it back to you. I'm gonna ask for your signature on that.
All right, where do I sign this at?
Yeah, it's at the very bottom on the right-hand
Right
side,
here?
right underneath plaintiff's
Your Honor,
signature.
I had
Okay.
sent over an advice of rights form because I wasn't able to meet with Ms. Carroll to go through her rights under MCR 4.201J. I'm happy to go through that unless Your Honor prefers to do so.
I will do that. Is it attached to that? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was part of the packet. Ma'am, did you read those advice of rights form?
yeah,
You did?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm familiar with,
Okay, you're okay. So you don't have any questions regarding that?
no.
All right, ma'am, you do have, since this is a consent judgment, you're unrepresented by counsel, you have 3 business days to think about it. If you believe that there's some legal reason, some confusion on your part, or some right you haven't asserted, then you'd have to file a motion within 3 days with the court. That
Okay.
doesn't mean I would grant it, but you'd have those 3 days to do that.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
Take care of this.
And judgment, in this case, judgment to the plaintiff, that is by consent as to defendant 1. that being Jennifer Carroll, and by default as to defendant two, for the total amount of $1,978.54 to be paid as indicated in paragraph 10. And I will sign off on that judgment. We're all set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I should say Toronto and Wells. All right. I have before me the consent judgment. You reviewed that, ma'am?
Yes, I do have a question, and I'm afraid
Yes,
to
ma'am.
ask because the other gentleman, when he asked questions, went
No,
down that
it's
rabbit
okay.
hole, so.
Please feel free to ask whatever
It
questions
says
you have.
Judgment. So does this get dismissed if I pay, or does this show up
It-
as something like for future rentals or things like that?
For future rentals, they would be able to find this as a judgment. It's not an agreement that it would be dismissed if paid.
Okay, what happens if I change my mind on that then?
Okay, you want to change your mind?
Well, I don't know. I need to, I just need a little advice to see. I mean, if I have it paid on the 29th without any, I mean, can we do that without me agreeing to a judgment? Because that, if I have that in my record as a judgment against, I don't know what that's going to do like for future. I'm going down that rabbit hole, aren't I?
Okay, I don't know what plaintiff wants to do regarding that. She's worried about having this on there.
I understand, Your Honor. I don't have the authority. I can ask my client if they're willing to do it as a conditional dismissal. And so if Ms. Taranto wants to wait, I'll check with them and we can see if they're
Okay.
willing to do that. I mean, I will state, Your Honor, that without putting Ms. Taranto's business out there on the record, we've had
Yes, I understand.
cases filed. And so I don't know how many of these were cases where judgments may have entered in them, but
I do have the email back from Jacob State when I put this out in an email form to both Ms. Storm and to the landlord stating the intent to pay. And I've got the email stating he said that, yes, that was fine.
Okay, I get that.
Okay.
But if you want to wait, she can check with her client as to whether or not they'll do a conditional dismissal, and then we can do it that way.
I just want to do what's best, but I mean, I hate to have that judgment showing. I didn't realize.
What would you like to do? If you want to wait, Ms. Dornbush will be more than happy to check. And why don't you wait? Rather than you trying to make a decision, why don't you have a seat, wait, Ms. Dornbush, check with your client. as to
You're
whether or
gonna,
not
she can
they'll-
talk with them now while we're still here?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you. I apologize. for the
amazing
delays.
telephone work.
I will, please let them know I am working full-time now, Rachel. So,
I appreciate that, Ms.
Yeah,
Taranto. Hang
so
tight.
that's-
I'll check with them and see if they're willing to do that.
okay,
Have a
thank you
seat,
so
ma'am.
much.
Court does call Scioto Farms versus Sheldon Gates. And Charlene Gates.
Okay. Get over here.
Okay,
We're
And-
All right.
together.
yes. All
Can't see
right,
you.
what are we doing?
In this case, Your Honor, we've reached terms for a proposed conditional dismissal. Your Honor, the total due with court costs is $2,877.66. That payment has already been mailed by Hawk. It's been sent to my client's like home office, and so it's just a matter of receiving that payment. And so we've included in here just the caveat that that payment has to be received by my client by April 26th. And so it gives 2 weeks for that to get out and to my client. And I did encourage both Mr. and Mrs. Gates to just follow up with the landlord next week and continue to follow up to make sure they do get that payment, so they aren't caught off guard if something, you know, happens and that payment isn't received for some reason. I did obtain, I think, permission from both of them to sign their names to the conditional dismissal. I have an email address for Ms. Gates, and I will send them a copy of it when I submit it to the court.
All right, Mr. and Mrs. Gates, is that correct?
Yes,
Yes, that's correct. Move up.
yes.
All right, very good. And so that amount, that check takes care of their full balance, at least through this month.
It does indeed, Your
Okay.
Honor.
All right, very good. Do you have
And-
any other questions, folks, regarding the conditional order of dismissal?
No, I understand it.
All right, did you apprise them of their rights?
I was just about to say that, Judge. I did advise them of the rights under MCR 4.201J.
All right, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, very good. Then I will mark this file conditionally dismissed and I will await the order. All
Very
right.
good, Your Honor.
Thank you, folks.
Your Honor, I
Thank
will
you.
return
And Ms.
shortly.
Dornbush, just let us know when you're ready. Just turn your camera on or however you want to just let us know and then we'll call your case back up.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can.
Thank you. Court calls the case of Arbor Woods versus Jennifer Carroll.
Your Honor, that proposed judgment does need Miss Carroll's signature. I had sent it over to Arbor Woods for her review, but she was indisposed and suggested that she would potentially be able to sign it today at court. And so it just needs her review and approval.
All right.
And Your Honor, it does indicate a default as to Miss Linda Carroll since she is not present, excuse me. I think it's Miss Jennifer Carroll that's in court today.
Your name, ma'am?
My name is Jennifer Carroll.
You're Jennifer Carroll. Okay, let me do this so that you're not rushing through that form. Let me pass the matter. You can take that back, review that judgment, okay? Then I may have questions for you when you come up.
And Your Honor, I would just draw Miss Carroll's attention to paragraph 10 of the agreement, Miss Carroll, that does set forth the terms you and I discussed.
Okay.
Okay, all right, take a look at that and then we'll call you back up shortly. The Gates, Charlene Gates, Sheldon or Charlene Gates? Oh, there they are. Hello, can you unmute?
Yeah, there I am.
All
I
right,
should
state
be
your name,
unmuted.
please.
Charlene Gates.
All right, I was gonna put you into a breakout room to try to discuss the case with Ms. Dornbush. You have a problem with that?
No, that's fine.
All right, then that's what we'll do. And then we're waiting on that review, so we'll do that. Court is staying in recess. We'll get you two called up first when I return. Okay?
Thank
You guys good?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Court's in recess.
15 লাখ টাকা পেয়ে গেলেন এরপর কি করবেন?
আমি নিজের নামে একটা রেস্টুরেন্ট ওপেন করতে চাই, এটা করতে পারবো, এটা করতে পারবো।
15 লক্ষ টাকায় রেস্টুরেন্ট হবে না তো?
8 বছর চাকরি করেছি মানবাধিকার সংস্থায়। চাকরি চলাকালীন আমি কোনো কিছু শিখতেও পারছিলাম না, এই বিষয়টা নিয়ে আগাতেও পারছিলাম না, সেজন্য আমি চাকরি ছেড়েছি এটাতে আগাবো বলে। আমার রেসিপির নাম হলো ভেলভেটি কোকোয়া ক্রেভিং।
জান্নাত কি করেন আপনি?
আমার একটা অনলাইন পেজ আছে যেখানে বাসায় ফুড বানিয়ে সেটা কি বলে সেল করি। কারিগরি প্রশিক্ষণ কেন্দ্র থেকে কয়েকটা বেকিং এবং কুকিংয়ের উপরে সার্টিফাইড কোর্স করেছি এবং বর্তমানে এখন ডিপ্লোমা কালিনারি ম্যানেজমেন্টের উপরে ডিপ্লোমা করছি।
কেন এত পড়াশোনা করেছেন কালিনারি নিয়ে?
নিজেকে একজন প্রফেশনাল শেফ হিসেবে দেখতে চাই।
যখন প্রফেশনাল শেফ হয়ে যাবেন, আমি লাস্ট 7 বছর ঈদে কখনো ছুটি নেইনি। সো ঈদ কমপ্লিটলি গন, হলিডেজ কমপ্লিটলি গন। ফ্যামিলি এটা রাজি হবে? ফ্যামিলি মানবে?
আমি 8 বছর চাকরি করেছি মানবাধিকার সংস্থায়। চাকরি চলাকালীন আমি কোনো কিছু শিখতেও পারছিলাম না, এই বিষয়টা নিয়ে আগাতেও পারছিলাম না, সেজন্য আমি চাকরি ছেড়েছি এটাতে আগাবো বলে। আর চাকরি যখন করেছি তখন আমার ছেলেকে আমার মা, আমার বোন ওরা হলো কি দেখাশোনা করেছে।
আপনার কেন মনে হচ্ছে যে সেরা রাঁধুনি সেই প্ল্যাটফর্ম যেটা আপনাকে শেফ হতে সাহায্য করবে?
যারা এই কালিনারি জগতে আসতে চায় তাদের জন্য একটা সেরা প্ল্যাটফর্ম হলো সেরা রাঁধুনি। সব কিছু একটা শক্ত হাতের প্রয়োজন হয় কোনো কিছুতে সামনে আগিয়ে যেতে, তো আমার কাছে শক্ত হাত সেই সেরা রাঁধুনিটা।
শেফ আমরা কি করতে পারি বলেন?
নিয়ে যাই
ওয়েটিং কার্ড দিয়ে
ওয়েটিং কার্ড দিয়ে দিচ্ছি।
4 বছরের অপেক্ষা।
কি নাম তোমার?
ফাতেমা খাতুন ঋতু।
কি বানিয়েছো আজকে?
ডেজার্ট বানিয়েছি হানি সানফ্লাওয়ার। আমি এখানে বাকলাভা করছি ক্রিম চিজ দিয়ে, যেখানে আমি ক্রিম চিজে ইউজ করেছি হানি।
সো দিস ইজ আ বাকলাভা।
বাকলাভা এবং চিজ।
আউটার লেয়ারটা বাকলাভার
এবং উপরে চিজ কেক।
চিজ কেক এন্ড দেন দিস
দম চিকেন।
আর ওইটা নান বানাইছি আমি।
এই দুটো রেসিপি থেকে যদি যে কোনো একটা সিলেক্ট করতে হয়, আমি যদি বলি আপনাকে আমি একটার জন্য মার্ক করব, সেটা কি হবে?
তাহলে বাকলাভা চিজ কেক।
কেন?
বাকলাভা আমার বেকিং খুব ভালো লাগে করতে। কয়েকটি কুইজিনের নাম বলেন। আচ্ছা, মানে আমি ইতালিয়ান, তারপর এইভাবে বলবো কি, পাস্তা, তারপর পিৎজা। ইন্ডিয়ান কুইজিনের মধ্যে আসে বিরিয়ানি, তারপর হলো বিভিন্ন ধরনের রায়তা, রাবড়ি, এগুলা। আর টার্কিশ ডেজার্ট করেছি। টার্কিশ ডেজার্টে বাকলাভা তো আসেই। থাই কুইজিনে হলো টম ইয়াম স্যুপ আছে, তারপরে হলো থাই ফ্রাইড রাইস আছে। একটু
লেটস সে আমরা আপনাকে আজকে সিলেক্ট করলাম, আপনি শোতে এসে শো জিতে গিয়েছেন,
ওকে।
15 লাখ টাকা পেয়ে গেলেন, এরপর কি করবেন?
আমি নিজের নামে একটা রেস্টুরেন্ট ওপেন করতে চাই। এটা করতে পারবো, এটা করতে পারবো।
15 লক্ষ টাকায় রেস্টুরেন্ট হবে না তো?
যতটুকু হোক, ছোট হোক বা বড় হোক, যতটুকু হোক আমি করব।
যদি আজকে এখানে সুযোগ না পান, তাহলে কি আপনার জার্নিটা থেমে যাবে?
না না না, অবশ্যই না, আমি আবার চেষ্টা করব।
আই লাইক দ্য স্পিরিট। আপনার ফুডের টেস্ট ভালো।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
এখন খুশি হতে পারেন। আপনাকে যখন 15 লাখ টাকা জিতেছেন, আপনি ইমাজিন করতে বলছি আপনি অনেক খুশি হয়ে গিয়েছিলেন।
না না, এমন কিছু না। ঢাকা অবধি যাই, তখন হয়তো ইমাজিন করতে পারবো যে আমি অনেকটা একটা ধাপ হলেও এগিয়ে আসতে পারছি।
ইমাজিন করেন আপনি ওয়েটিং কার্ড পেয়ে গিয়েছেন।
হ্যাঁ, আচ্ছা,
পেয়ে গিয়েছেন।
সত্যি?
জি, চলে আসুন।
ঠিকই জানি, কি জানি আমার মাঝে আমি সেরা রাধুনী।
Mình đã xong con nhím với cái màu nâu này nhá. Phần những lá mình sẽ tô bằng màu xanh. Những trồng cây mình cũng tô bằng màu xanh nha. Đây nữa nè. Đây là các phần cái cây nhỏ ở dưới của một cái tán lá cây to nhá.
Những cây cỏ nhỏ ở dưới á. Phần gốc cây mình sẽ tô bằng cái màu nâu nè. Thân cây. Đây là cái màu nâu nha. Phần thân cây mình sẽ tô bằng cái màu nâu nha. Một gốc cây cổ thụ rất là to. Với tán lá này mình sẽ tô bằng cái màu xanh lá này nhá.
It looked really good. Taste-wise, it is also very good.
থ্যাংক ইউ।
কোথায় শিখলে বিফ লাজানিয়া বানানো?
এটা ফার্স্টে ইউটিউব থেকে দেখেছিলাম এন্ড দেন কয়েকবার বাসায় নিজে ট্রাই করেছি 4-5 বারের মতো, যখন আমার মনে হচ্ছে যে রেসিপিটা পারফেক্ট করতে পেরেছি।
আমি সেরা চমক দেখাতে জ্বালাবো শিখা দেখিয়ে দেব যা হয়নি দেখা।
আমি মৌসুমি।
মৌসুমি কি বানিয়েছেন?
এটা হচ্ছে চকো ক্যারামেল চিজকেক ব্লসম।
Looks beautiful. I think আজকের দেখা one of the best presentation.
থ্যাংক ইউ।
কি করেন আপনি?
আমার ছোটোখাটো একটা বিজনেস আছে ফুড নিয়ে, পাশাপাশি আমি ট্রেনার হিসাবে রাজশাহী মহিলা টিটিসিতে আছি। আমি মাস্টার্স কমপ্লিট করেছি হোম ইকোনমিক্স থেকে, আর এছাড়াও আমি হোটেল ম্যানেজমেন্টে ডিপ্লোমা করেছি, আর এখন করছি হলো কুলিনারি আর্টসের উপরে ডিপ্লোমা। এছাড়াও আমি কিছু লেভেল কমপ্লিট করেছি যেটা কুকিং এবং বেকিংয়ের উপরে।
সো আপনি রাজশাহী টিটিসি ট্রেনার?
জি।
সো রাজশাহী টিটিসি ট্রেনার হিসেবে ইউ হোল্ড আ ভেরি হাই পজিশন ইন দ্য সোসাইটি, রাইট? সো ওই পজিশন থেকে এসে এরকম একটা প্ল্যাটফর্মে দাঁড়িয়ে নিজের খানাকে প্রুভ করা, দ্যাট টেকস আ লট অফ গাটস। অল ইউর স্টুডেন্টস আর ওয়াচিং, যারা আপনাকে চিনে তারা দেখছে।
জি।
অ্যান্ড এটা তো অ্যাবাউট নাও তো 50-50, ইট ক্যান গো এনি ডিরেকশনে। ফুড প্রেজেন্টেশন নিয়ে আমি বলেছি, ইট লুকড রিয়েলি গুড। টেস্ট ওয়াইজ ইট ইজ অলসো ভেরি গুড।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
এভরি লেয়ার, ডিফারেন্ট এলিমেন্টস অফ ইট ভালো লেগেছে।
জি।
নিচের সসটা ভালো লেগেছে।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আমাদের যদি সিলেক্ট হয়ে যান তাহলে কিন্তু একটা লম্বা সময় থাকতে হবে, মানে এত কিছু বাদ দিয়ে ওইটুকু কি করা সম্ভব?
সম্ভব, কারণ আমার বাচ্চারা খুব করে চায়, এটা তো আমার ভালো লাগার একটা জায়গা যে আমিও চাচ্ছি এখানে যেতে। সঙ্গে আমার বাচ্চাদের খুব ইচ্ছা যে তার মাকে এই পজিশনে দেখা যাক, তো আমি হয়তোবা জবও ছেড়ে দিতে পারি এখানে যাওয়ার জন্য।
মৌসুমি, আমরা আপনাকে ওয়েটিং কার্ড দিব, ঠিক আছে?
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আসুন।
ইয়েস, পেয়ে গেছি আমার কাঙ্ক্ষিত কার্ডটি। যদি আমি অ্যাপিরনটি পেয়ে যাই, তো আমি যেখানে জব করি তাদেরকে আমি জানাবো আমি ছুটি চাই 2 মাসের জন্য। যদি তারা মানে রাজি হয় তাহলে ওকে, আর যদি না রাজি হয় তো আমার স্বপ্ন পূরণের জন্য আমি জবটা ছেড়ে দেব, তাও আমি যেতে চাই ঢাকা।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম।
আমার নাম তাসনিয়া আলী।
কি বানিয়েছো আজকে?
আমি বানিয়েছি বিফ লাজানিয়া।
কোথায় শিখলে বিফ লাজানিয়া বানানো?
এটাই ফার্স্টে ইউটিউব থেকে দেখেছিলাম অ্যান্ড দেন কয়েকবার বাসায় নিজে ট্রাই করেছি 4-5 বারের মতো, যখন আমার মনে হচ্ছে যে রেসিপিটা পারফেক্ট করতে পেরেছি।
তো এটা পারফেক্ট আছে?
আই হোপ সো।
ইটালিয়ান আইটেমে কোন উপাদানটা ছাড়া কখনো ইটালিয়ান ডিশ হয় না?
টমেটো আর মৎজারেলা, ওদের প্রত্যেকটা আইটেমে কাইন্ড অফ এই দুইটা জিনিস কনসিস্টেন্ট থাকে।
অরিগানো অলসো।
অরিগানো অলসো, ইয়েস।
এখানে মজরেলা আসছে?
জি, হোমমেড মৎজারেলা, যেটা আমি নিজে বানিয়েছি।
হোমমেড?
জি।
I am very impressed যে you make your own mozzarella.
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আর কি কি ইটালিয়ান ডিশ তুমি ভালো তৈরি করতে পারো?
স্প্যাগেটি উইথ মিটবলস, এটা ফ্রিকোয়েন্টলি বানাই। আরেকটা হচ্ছে তিরামিসু।
বাংলা খাবার বানাতে পারো?
জি পারি।
5 ফোড়নে যে ব্যবহার করা হয়, 5 ফোড়ন নাম শুনেছো?
জি।
5টা মশলার নাম বলো তো।
মেথি, মৌরি, কালিজিরা, জিরা, নর্মাল জিরা অ্যান্ড না সরি লাস্টটা মনে পড়তে।
রাঁধুনি থাকে ওর মধ্যে।
ও হ্যাঁ, সর্ষে
রাঁধুনিও থাকে, রাঁধুনি থাকে। মনে করেন আপনি সেরা রাঁধুনি হয়ে গেলেন,
জি,
15 লক্ষ টাকাও পেলেন,
জি,
দেন করবেন কি?
আই থিঙ্ক কালিনারি আর্টসে একটা ডিগ্রি পারসিউ করব ফার্স্ট অফ অল, অ্যান্ড বেকিংয়ে আমার আরও বেশি অনেক কিছু, যে অনেক টাইপের আইটেমস আছে, সো ওগুলো আমি আমার প্রফেশনালি শেখার ইচ্ছা আছে। তো আমি মোস্ট প্রবাবলি স্কিল বিল্ডিংয়ে ইনভেস্ট করব সবার ফার্স্ট।
So for now, we'll give you a waiting card. ঠিক আছে?
আমি ঠিকই জানি আমার মাঝে আমি।
Không đi con. Ôi chơi lắm cái này.
Con phải lên, con đánh câu của bạn. Con dạy là. Xong nó cũng đã không mua. Thế bạn em lại mà thầy gì ở đây luôn.
Thôi học đi. Không đi lắng cái này đâu con ơi.
Con có mũ rồi.
Thì nhà sẽ tô phần con ơi, đi đâu ấy? Mình sẽ tô cái phần chúng mày Hello Kitty này bằng cái màu hồng nhá, hồng phấn này. Đôi môi là màu đỏ nè.
Mình đã tô xong phần đầu với cái màu hồng nhá.
ওয়াও মনে হয়, ভিজুয়ালি দেখতে অনেক সুন্দর হয়েছে।
হ্যাঁ, প্রেজেন্টেশনটা ভালো।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
ওয়েটিং কার্ড পেয়েছি। ঢাকা অডিশনের জন্য একটু টেনশন হচ্ছে নেক্সট রাউন্ডে আমি যেতে পারবো কিনা।
সুরাইয়া পারভিন, কি বানিয়েছেন আপনি?
আমি একটি ডেজার্ট নিয়ে এসেছি আজকে, লেয়ার কার্ড ফ্যান্টাসি।
আমি জানি না টেস্ট কেমন, আমি জাস্ট আপনার প্লেটিংটা দেখেই ওয়াও মনে হয়। ডেজার্ট ছাড়া আপনি ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কুইজিন আর কি বানাতে পারেন?
থাই, চাইনিজটা পারি।
থাই আর চাইনিজ কুইজিনের মধ্যে পার্থক্যটা কি বলতে পারবেন?
কিছুটা কাছাকাছি, কারণ এই দুটার মধ্যে আপনার যেই জিনিস প্রোডাক্টগুলো আমরা ইউজ করি প্রায় একই রকম। অনেকটা ডিফারেন্স আছে। থাই খুব ঝাল হয়, চাইনিজ অত ঝাল হয় না। আর থাইতে প্রচুর কোকোনাট ইউজ করে, চাইনিজে অত কোকোনাট ইউজ হয় না। এছাড়াও এরকম অনেক উদাহরণ আছে জি দুটো ফুডের মধ্যে। জি,
সেরা রাঁধুনিতে কেন এসেছেন?
আমি মনে করি ম্যাম সেরা রাঁধুনি একটা হচ্ছে বিশাল বড় একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম, যেখানে নিজেকে আমি উপস্থাপন করতে পারবো সবার সামনে, আমি আমার প্রতিভাকে দেখাতে পারবো। ফিউচারে আমার খুব ইচ্ছা নিজেকে একজন সফল উদ্যোক্তা হিসেবে তৈরি করা। আমি মনে করি সে রাঁধুনি আমাকে সে প্ল্যাটফর্মটা আমাকে তৈরি করে দিবে।
আজকে যদি আমরা আপনাকে ওয়েটিং কার্ড না দিই তাহলে আপনার কেমন লাগবে?
ভালো খারাপ দুইটাই লাগবে। কার্ড পেলে ভালো লাগবে, না পেলে ইনশাল্লাহ পরের বার আরও ভালোভাবে চেষ্টা করে আসবো।
আপনি তো আমাদের আগের চ্যালেঞ্জেসগুলো দেখেছেন, অনেক ইন্টারন্যাশনাল, অনেক ফিউশন, অনেক ডিফারেন্ট টাইপ অফ চ্যালেঞ্জেস থাকে। সো আপনার মনে হয় আপনি রেডি?
ইয়েস, আমি রেডি।
তাহলে চলে আসেন, আপনাকে আমরা একটা ওয়েটিং কার্ড দিতে চাচ্ছি।
থ্যাংক ইউ শেফ। ওয়েটিং কার্ড পেয়েছি, ভালো লাগছে। জাজরাক আমার ফুড খেয়ে অনেক প্রশংসা করেছে। ঢাকা অডিশনের জন্য একটু টেনশন হচ্ছে নেক্সট রাউন্ডে আমি যেতে পারবো কিনা।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম সালাম।
আমি শারমিন সাবা লিনা। আমি আজকে নিয়ে এসেছি পিনা কোলাডা পাইনাপেল কেক।
ভিজুয়ালি দেখতে অনেক সুন্দর হয়েছে।
হ্যাঁ, প্রেজেন্টেশনটা ভালো।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
কি করেন?
একাডেমিক পড়াশোনা শেষ করেছি আমি, আর বর্তমানে আমি কালিনারি আর্টসের উপরে ডিপ্লোমা করছি। আর হোমমেড একটা খাবারের বিজনেস আছে যেটা আমি আমাদের এলাকাতে রান করছি।
শামিন, আপনি কোকোনাট ইউজ করেছেন এখানে?
না শেফ।
পিনা কোলাডাতে কিন্তু কোকোনাট যায়। ইটস আ মিক্সচার অফ পাইনঅ্যাপল এন্ড
কোকোনাট।
আমার কাছে মানে কেকের টেস্টটা বেশ ভালো লেগেছে।
আমার কাছেও কেকের টেস্টটা ভালো লেগেছে। ইটস নট টু সুইট, দেয়ার ইজ পাইনঅ্যাপল when you call it
জুসি।
থ্যাংক ইউ ম্যাম।
আপনি এটা ছাড়া আর কি রান্না করতে পারেন? ঝাল খাবার কি রান্না করতে পারেন?
বিরিয়ানি, কাবাব, হচ্ছে মুঠি কাবাব, শামি কাবাব, ইন্টারন্যাশনাল আছে জালি কাবাব।
ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কোনো খাবার
যেমন চাইনিজের মধ্যে ফ্রাইড রাইস, চিলি চিকেন, ওনথন, থাই স্যুপ, এগুলো সব পারি।
চাইনিজের মধ্যে তো থাই আসে না।
ভালো আসছে না?
আমি জানি আপনি জানেন, বাট আপনি নার্ভাস কেন এত?
প্রথমবার আমার অডিশন তো সেই জন্য।
আগে কেন আসেন?
আগে আমি মানে গত সিজন আমি ভাবছিলাম যে দিব, তারপর ভাবলাম যে না, আমি একটু কাঁচা আসছি, এখানে তো দেখি অনেক সব দক্ষ সবাই আসে, ওই জন্য আমি ভাবছিলাম একটু ভালো মতো শিখে তারপর যাই, সেই জন্য।
সো আপনার মনে হয় আপনি এবারের জন্য রেডি?
হ্যাঁ, আমার মনে হয় আমি রেডি আছি এবারের জন্য।
তাহলে আমরাও রেডি। এখন আপনাকে একটা ওয়েটিং কার্ড দেই।
থ্যাংক ইউ শেফ। সেরা রাঁধুনির ওয়েটিং কার্ড পেয়েছি, আর আশা করছি গ্র্যান্ড অডিশনের জন্য সিলেক্ট হব ইনশাল্লাহ। এটা পেয়েছি, এটাতে অনেক খুশি লাগছে। ইনশাল্লাহ গ্র্যান্ড অডিশনের জন্য সিলেক্ট হলে আরও বেশি খুশি হব।
Mình đã tô xong bức tranh về chú mèo nha. Các bạn hãy quan sát lại bức tranh mình đã hoàn thiện này. Để theo dõi các video tiếp theo, các bạn nhớ bấm like cho mình nhé. Xin chào các bạn. Hello, xin chào các bạn đến với kênh YouTube của mình nha. Hôm nay chúng mình cùng nhau tô màu bức tranh về một chú gà mái nè, một chú gà mái hoa mơ này. Chúng mình cùng tô màu nha. Một chú gà mái với cái bộ chân rất là sần sù, như kiểu chú ấy là một chú gà mái rất già rồi ấy. Nên mình sẽ tô cái màu của nó là màu đỏ nhá. Đây này, đây là cái màu đỏ này. Mình sẽ tô cái phần màu trên đỉnh đầu trước nha. Mình đang tô cái phần màu của chú gà. Mình đã tô xong cái phần màu với cái màu đỏ này rồi nhá. Giờ mình sẽ tô sang phần mỏ này. Để cái màu nâu. Đây là cái màu nâu này. Mình sẽ dùng cái chì ngòi nhỏ này. Một cái mỏ rất là sắc nhọn.